You know how it is, ask 5 real estate agents how much they make. And, well, you're likely to get 5 completely different answers.
Yeah.
It's almost this professional mystery, isn't it?
It really is.
Some will tell you, they're barely scraping by. Others, they're hitting those big 6-figure marks, sometimes even way more.
Mm-hmm.
And that creates this really conflicting narrative, sort of whispered hype versus this silent fear, which can be incredibly confusing if you're thinking about this career path yourself.
Okay, let's unpack this. There's just so much chatter out there, right? Everything from the, get rich quick, be your own boss dream.
Yeah, the flashy stuff.
Exactly. To the much more daunting, most agents fail in their first year. It feels like navigating a minefield of extremes.
It does.
So our mission today is really to cut through all that noise. We're going to dive deep into the reality of what it truly means to become a real estate agent, especially during that make or break first year. We want to show how you can actually find stability, maybe even thrive right from the start. And what often gets overlooked in those extreme stories is the fundamental mechanics of it all. People either focus on the huge successes or they get paralyzed by the failure warnings. They miss the underlying reality.
Right.
So this deep dive, I think it'll help us connect the dots, between the dream of a successful career and the actual practical steps you need to take.
Mm-hmm.
We'll look at the challenges people don't always see and hopefully offer a roadmap for those first critical months.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the engine, really, not just looking at the shiny car.
Absolutely. So for you, our listener, here's the journey we're taking today. First, we're going to dissect how agents actually get paid, because it's more complex than just a percentage.
Definitely.
Then we'll look at what that first year truly looks like. No sugarcoating, but also, not overly bleak either. And finally, we'll give you some critical, practical tips from our source material to help you navigate it. We want you to walk away feeling really well-informed, prepared, and ready to tackle those initial hurdles with confidence. Sound good?
Let's do it.
Okay. So when we talk about how real estate agents get paid, the very first foundational thing from our source material is, well, it's quite stark, but absolutely essential. Agents are 100% commission-based.
Yeah, that's the bedrock.
I mean, for someone coming from a regular salary job, that's just a monumental shift, isn't it? How does that reality, fundamentally rewire an agent's whole approach to work, finances, even just daily effort?
Oh, it's huge. That 100% commission model, it's not just a financial thing. It's a profound psychological filter. It's a complete paradigm shift.
Okay.
The insight here is you're not just selling homes. You're basically running a micro business. Every single minute isn't just working hard. It's an investment. It's a calculated step towards a real closing deal, not just logging hours for a guaranteed wage.
Right. No safety net.
Exactly. And that radically redefines effort. It's about working smart, constantly generating leads, nurturing those relationships, all without that immediate paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
This mindset shift from employee to entrepreneur, that's where many new agents really struggle. It takes a level of self-discipline and, frankly, financial foresight that most people just aren't prepared for right away.
That makes perfect sense. It's a completely different mental game. And building on that, our source also clarifies that these commissions are a percentage of the final sale price. So bigger sale, bigger commission. Smaller sale, smaller commission.
Mm-hmm.
Seems obvious, but then you start peeling back the layers and, it gets complicated fast.
Mm-hmm.
So what are those common layers of deductions that chip away at that gross commission before an agent actually sees any money?
Right. This is where the real education starts. Okay, so first you have the total gross commission on the sale, typically maybe 5% to 6% of the sale price.
Oh.
Now, that amount, it's usually split between the buyer's agent's brokerage and the seller's agent's brokerage. So if it's a 6% total commission, each side's brokerage might get 3%.
Got it. Brokerage to brokerage first.
Exactly. Now, that's just the brokerage's share. Your cut as the individual agent comes after your brokerage takes its slice. This is the commission split, and boy, does it vary. Some traditional brokerages might start new agents at, say, 50-50, meaning you keep half of that 3% your brokerage got until you hit certain sales goals, maybe.
Wow. Only half of that initial half.
Yeah. Others might offer a better split, maybe 70-30 or 80-20, where you keep the bigger piece. But what's really crucial to understand is some brokerages that offer really high splits, like 90-10 or even 100% commission. Well, they often charge hefty monthly desk fees or transaction fees.
There's the catch.
There's often a catch. Those fees can be hundreds a month, or maybe a few hundred per deal. So you really have to run the numbers.
So it's definitely not just about that top line percentage. It's about understanding the net, what you actually take home after everything's deducted. It sounds like a higher initial split doesn't automatically mean more money in your pocket.
Precisely. And beyond the split and any monthly fees, agents often have other costs, even before they get paid. There's E&O insurance errors and omissions, tech fees for CRM systems, websites, marketing expenses, think photos for listings, signs, online ads,
Gas phone.
gas, phone, maybe professional development courses.
Yeah.
Yeah. So understanding the actual amount you clear on a deal after all these deductions, that's the detail that impacts your earnings way more than just the initial percentage of the home sale. It's why meticulous budgeting and tracking expenses are just non-negotiable for a new agent.
That breakdown really clarifies things. Yeah, it paints a much more realistic picture than just hearing, you get X%. Which leads us right into what many find, well, the most sobering part. The reality of that first year. Our source states quite plainly that many agents earn under $30,000 in their first year.
That figure comes up a lot.
That's a stark contrast to some of those get-rich-quick stories, isn't it? What does that statistic really mean for someone starting out? Is it doom and gloom?
It's critical information to internalize, but it's less about an agent's talent and more about the built-in timeline of this business.
Yeah.
The expectation needs to be that significant income probably won't happen immediately.
Okay.
And it's not because new agents aren't working hard. It's usually due to two main factors: our material highlights, plus some others maybe. First, it just takes time to build a pipeline.
Right, the pipeline.
That's your flow of potential clients, current leads, deals in progress.
Yeah.
Think of it like a funnel. You need to keep filling the top to get anything out the bottom. You don't just start on day one with a waiting list. You have to network, market yourself, build relationships, do open houses, use social media, maybe even some cold outreach. It's a process that unfolds over weeks and months. You're planting seeds. They take time to grow. It's an investment of time and energy, sometimes money, before you see a return.
And that ties right into the second factor, which I think often surprises people. Closings can take months. Even when you find a client, they find a house. The journey from offer to keys in hand is rarely quick. What causes those delays? How does that hit an agent's income timeline?
Yeah, that time lag between effort and reward is one of the biggest hurdles. Once an offer is accepted, you enter this period full of contingencies.
Hurdles is right.
You've got home inspections, they might find issues, leading to renegotiations, appraisals for the lender they need to match the sale price, then the whole financing approval process that can hit snags, legal reviews, title searches, surveys. Each step often involves different people: the bank, the appraiser, the inspector, attorneys.
Everyone with their own schedule.
Exactly, all with their own timelines and potential for delays. So even a smooth transaction isn't usually super fast. If you get a buyer in month 1, you might not see that commission check until month 3, month 4, maybe even later.
So an agent could be doing everything right, working incredibly hard, but the payment just lags behind. Wow. That must take an incredible emotional toll.
It absolutely does. The first year is often less about maximizing income and more about just setting up the foundation, building the pipeline, learning the closing process inside out, figuring out how to manage client expectations and your own cash flow. That $30,000 figure isn't a judgment on ability. It's more a reflection of the inherent timelines in real estate. And add to that, new agents without a built-in client base. They're way more vulnerable to market shifts. If the market slows or interest rates spike, new agents feel that impact much more than seasoned pros with strong referral networks. It really tests your perseverance, your resilience.
Okay, so given that reality that pipelines take time, closings drag out, markets shift, our source provides a really crucial practical tip. It suggests saving at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses before going full-time. That sounds less like advice and more like an absolute necessity based on what we just discussed.
It's not just a suggestion. You're right. It's probably the single most important piece of financial prep for an aspiring agent. This buffer, this cushion of living expenses, it directly tackles that income lag.
Right.
Without it, you're trying to build a business while facing immediate financial pressure. That leads to stress, maybe desperation, poor decisions, and often burnout. Imagine trying to negotiate a complex deal when you're worried about next month's rent.
Yeah, impossible.
This financial cushion gives you the breathing room, space to focus on learning skills, finding clients, understanding the process without that constant anxiety gnawing at you. It buys you time. And in real estate, time truly is an investment. It's your runway before you can really take off.
That makes perfect sense. It lets you focus on strategy, not just pure survival. But okay, beyond the money, what else does our source emphasize for new agents to not just survive, but actually thrive in this demanding field?
Well, beyond the financial cushion, another critical tip is finding a great mentor and choosing a brokerage that offers real support.
Ah, mentorship. Okay.
For new agents, a good mentor isn't just for bouncing ideas. They give hands-on guidance, help you through your first few deals, teach you the local market quirks, and crucially, help you avoid common mistakes.
Right. Learning from experience, but not solely your own painful experience.
Exactly, and the right brokerage complements that. They should offer structured training, maybe lead generation help, and a supportive culture where you feel okay asking questions. It's not just about the commission split, it's the value of the resources and guidance, especially early on.
So it's not just learning how to sell, but learning how to learn effectively in the real world with support. What about standing out? It's a crowded market.
hmm And that leads right into the next tip.
Mm.
Continuous learning and maybe specialization. The market's always changing, new tech, new rules, economic shifts.
Always something.
Always something. So staying updated on trends, sharpening negotiation skills, understanding digital marketing, it's vital. Furthermore, our sources suggest specializing can be a faster path for many new agents instead of trying to be everything to everyone.
Find a niche.
Yes, exactly. Focus on first-time buyers or luxury or investments, maybe a specific neighborhood or even commercial. It lets you become the go-to expert in a smaller pond faster. Builds confidence, builds referrals more quickly sometimes.
That's a smart way to differentiate yourself early on. It really sounds like you need to approach this like a serious business even before you have that first client.
And that is precisely the final crucial tip. Treat it like a business from day one.
Okay.
That means setting actual business hours, even if you're working from home. Meticulously budgeting for marketing. Understanding your ROI on lead generation spending.
Right.
Tracking every expense for taxes.
Right, the practical stuff.
The practical stuff. Developing a professional brand, social media website, whatever it is. Too many new agents treat it like a hobby until the money appears. But in a commission-only world, you have to invest the time, the effort, sometimes the capital before you see the rewards. You have to be proactive, not reactive.
So what does this all mean for you, our listener? We've covered quite a bit today. From that intense 100% commission model and all its deductions, to the often challenging reality of year one, and then those vital tips. Saving, mentorship, maybe specializing, and treating it like a real business. The main takeaway seems clear. Becoming a real estate agent. Not a quick sprint to riches, definitely not.
Wow.
But on the flip side, it's far from an impossible dream doomed to failure either. It's a journey. It demands understanding, solid preparation, and yeah, a good dose of resilience.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, what our source material strongly suggests is that while income does take time to build,
Yeah.
it can grow significantly,
Oh.
potentially way beyond what most traditional jobs offer.
Hmm.
This isn't necessarily a path to an average salary. It's a path with real upside potential once you've built that pipeline, mastered the deal process, and earned your reputation.
Right.
The key, like we've discussed, is understanding and applying these insights, knowing the commission game, preparing for that initial slow burn, building stability, and really embracing it as an entrepreneur. It's about playing the long game, intelligently and patiently.
And if you are feeling intrigued by this path, if you want to prepare better, build faster. Our source points to a really valuable resource, thriveinrealestate.org. Seems like a fantastic place to start your own deeper dive into preparation and finding that crucial support system.
Which raises, I think, an important question for you, our listener. Beyond just crunching the numbers and knowing the steps, what kind of mindset do you believe is truly essential to thrive? In a profession where your income is so directly tied to your personal hustle, your self-motivation, and your ability to navigate that long game of client pipelines and those months-long closings, how do you cultivate that inner drive when the rewards aren't immediate?
Think about that. What kind of entrepreneurial spirit does it genuinely take to not just get by, but to really thrive in that kind of environment? That's all for this deep dive. We hope you feel more informed and maybe more ready to explore your next steps in the exciting and, yes, sometimes challenging world of real estate. Thanks for joining us for this conversation.